Boom! Welcome. How's it going? It is I, TJ from M5 Successful Friends. And today, like it is any other day, we are hanging out with someone else who is successful, who is an M5 successful friend. Obviously, talking and relating into anything around property. So we've got Ntombela, and I actually met out Ntombela via his coach. Ntombela, he's got a coach, like I've got a coach. And we started actually just talking about, what are the things that are happening and how is he winning and things like that. So obviously he's got a story to tell for him to be sitting in that seat today. And I am sure you are going to be blown away, but let me not waste so much time. Ntombela, how's it going? Welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me. It's all good. I'm all good. Quarantined, as everyone should be, and yeah.
Right. So at the time of this recording, we were actually, the president had just imposed, is it a 21-day lockdown?
21 days.
21 lockdown period for the whole country due to the coronavirus that's been cutting across the country. And we are on day 5. Many other countries, some here are way ahead and some are, have just started. So we're hoping that we will come out of this a little bit stronger. But let's jump into it. Ntombela, where are you from?
So I'm from Durban.
Right.
Born and bred in Durban, grew up Durban, high school in Durban, and I came to Joburg a few years ago, originally with the intention of studying straight out of high school. And so I studied, have an accounting background, and that's what I did. Basically, always since I was a child, wanted to have money, I guess. And I just always, and everyone knew from Durban, if you want money, you come to Joburg. So that's how I landed here. That's how I'm here today.
Okay. Who in your family is in Joburg, or are you the first one in your family to come to Joburg?
So I don't have family in Joburg, actually. I'm the first to come to Joburg.
Right.
But subsequently, I have a younger brother who's also studying now in Joburg. So basically, just us and the rest of the family is back in Durban.
So you're a proper
somewhere else in KZN.
Good. So you're a proper immigrant, right? You migrated from Debs and you're here and you're trying to find the gold. I mean, there's many of us, so I relate to you there. But let's jump into the conversation around. So I know you to be doing property. I've been hanging out with your coach Tips. How did you transition, or how did you started knowing that you potentially have an appetite for property?
So when I started working originally, right, it didn't take me long to figure out that this employment thing is not for me, right? So I figured maybe I need to figure something else out. I looked at things like trading, things like stocks and things like that, and I realized this is not for me, like it doesn't stimulate any creativity, and I was looking for something with creativity. And as I'd mentioned before, I have an accounting background. So one thing that was always emphasized is that as an accountant, as soon as you start getting creative, that's when you go to jail. Right. So definitely there was not much room. And with property, what I realized as soon as I started going on YouTube and just reading some books, I started realizing that property is a game where you have the opportunity to be creative. You have the opportunity to make money, and you have the opportunity to gain wealth, generational wealth. And that's ultimately what made me come into property,
Good. I bang the fact that you've got a coach. And I just want us to zoom in a little bit on the coach part.
Okay, sure.
Because I don't know how you met your coach. Maybe you want to elaborate there. But whilst you are talking about how you got connected with your coach, maybe explain to us what the coach has given you and why you hang out with someone like Tebs. I mean, Tebogo, I call him Tebs. Tebogo, he's your coach, and what are you getting from your coach?
So how I found Tebogo was I went to property seminars.
Right.
I used to go to property seminars, watch YouTube videos, and through the property seminars that I had attended, I was basically looking for someone I could relate to, someone I could understand, and more than anything, someone I felt like I could grow with. Someone who believes that they still have potential to grow, and someone I can personally grow with as well. And there was something about his presentation that hit home, something about understanding that no, this man here, he's not perfect. He's not he didn't get an inheritance from someone who, and then he just dumped the money into property. He started from zero, and when he told the story, it really resonated with me, and I felt like this is someone I can work with. This is someone who will understand the challenges of a Black person within our country, who understands how property market works, and someone who wants to grow themselves, who's not saying that they've made it in life, but sees that the fact that they can grow, and there's always opportunity to grow. And that's someone I personally wanted to work with. And when he made his presentation, immediately afterwards, I went to speak to him, and I joined his program and been on his program for a few months now. And the benefits of having him around have been enormous.
So hold on. So you mentioned that you joined this program. Is this a paid program, or it's a paid program?
Yes, definitely.
So you started off just looking for information, and there was information online, and then you go into a seminar. I see a lot of people, they become kind of like seminar junkies, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go from one seminar to the next, 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 and then to the next, and they don't do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying that you're related to the person who was given the presentation, so you kind of like figured, well, this person can also help me. So now you're in this paid program, right? What is it that you're getting out, from a personal perspective? Because this is your journey, right? Because I could be in the same program, I could be getting something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I could just say from the seminar, right?
Yeah.
The seminar is more like an overview.
Right.
It's more of this is what you could do, and this is the potential. And they do dig deep sometimes, but it's not enough time. There's really never enough time at a seminar to coach you, especially as an individual, because our markets will differ, our challenges will differ as property entrepreneurs. So the benefits of having that coach will be that you are able to ask questions that are directly affecting you on a day-to-day basis on specific deals. And the coach has been through it. The coach has experience, and they've been through it, and they can help you, and they can also teach you ways to market yourself, your brand, and how to also build a business, because it's not only about flipping deals, making deals, but you actually need to build a business, a sustainable business. And so far working with Tebogo, those are some of the things that I've picked up that I wouldn't have normally. If I went in by myself, I would have been throwing money away. The money I paid for the program is peanuts compared to the education that I'm getting from it.
So here's the thing, right? I started off in business without a coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had 1, 2, 3 businesses that I did with no coach at all.
Mm-hmm.
I did well, and I didn't do well, and then I did very, very well, and then I lost a whole lot of money, right? So, and by the time I got into property, I was in debt now around about 5 million. Okay, and I haven't really lost solid money in property because I've got a coach. And before that, I lost lots of money because I didn't have a go-to person, someone whom I'm just accountable to. So I totally relate to what you're saying. And I don't think that a lot of people understand that concept. And that's why I'm actually, zooming in to talk about this. But nonetheless, so you've got a coach now, you've got the education. How is it going for you? What have you done?
So it's going well so far.
Okay.
As I mentioned just before the live, we took us quite a while to get our first property deal. It took us about 5 months, and it got to a point sometimes when we were even questioning the whole property thing, questioning our coach, questioning everything, about property.
Yeah.
And then actually, when we got our first deal, we realized that there's something that our coach told us that we thought we did, but we really didn't do. It was understanding our market.
Right.
So we did not understand our market, and I did not understand how to market and network within our market, understanding the people within the market. So that's something that as soon as we got that and we understood, hey, this is what we are doing wrong. This is what I'm doing wrong. As soon as we got that, we got our first deal and we signed it within 2 weeks. Immediately since then, we've had like 6, 7, working on our 7th deal now within a period of a month and a half.
My man.
So yeah, big up to that. So I think as soon as it was all based on the knowledge that we got from our coach. It's just that we didn't listen.
So hold on. Right. So our storylines, we haven't met for a coffee or hanged out, just to put it out there. But our stories are actually very similar. My first deal, it took me 6 months to get, right? I had followed kind of like everything that my coach had said, and I followed that to the T. But the market was not just responding for me, the particular market that I was working in. And I just went outside my designated market. So when I started off, I stay in the west, kind of like northwest, kind of like of Johannesburg. And I started looking out in an area called Windsor. And I realized that there was quite a lot of people pushing into Windsor. And I know every street name in Windsor. You can't tell me nothing about Windsor. I know everything about it. I started even knowing the vendors on the street, right? Because I was walking the streets, right, looking for deals. But for 6 months, nothing materialized. And I moved to Kempton Park. And in 2 weeks, boom, I had like 4 or 5 deals on the table, all closed, right? Now, I just want to go back to your statement of saying that for 5 months, you were almost doubting, right? And there you are now, you've got the opportunity. I mean, you've done all the right things, yeah. You've got the education, you've got a coach, but time is ticking, right? So now you're thinking, is this really it? What was that feeling when you got that first deal, when you closed it?
It was, I'd never been so happy, actually. I actually celebrated with my partner. I have a partner called Fortune. Her name is Fortune. We work well together. And we celebrated. We were really, really happy to be like, we finally got it. Like, it got to a point where we really didn't understand what are we doing wrong. And when we figured it out and we got that first deal, celebrations were in order. That I can guarantee. Like, because we literally saw our future as bright as the sun. We saw the future as bright as the sun, and we still believe that much more is yet to come.
Okay, good stuff. So you are on deal number 7 from the time that you got your first deal, and you've been with Tabs now for how long?
So we've been with Tabs it's been about 8 months now.
Right. So 8 months. Yes, you had lost time, but I don't want to call it lost time. I call it farming time, because when you're out there farming, what typically happens is because you're cultivating period where you're not harvesting anything, but it all ends up into the preparation, isn't it? And then the harvest, poof, it does happen at some time. when the farm is nurtured correctly. Now, if you had to go back to the time where we're saying that 5 months there was nothing, and then now only you're on 8 months, but you're on 7 deals. So which, if we look back on a year view, it actually translates into 1 deal every month, right?
Yeah, close to.
Right. So have you now picked up a recipe in terms of what is your strategy? Because there's many strategies out there, right? There's buy-to-lets, which I am very fond of. I like to do them. There's flips that I am not fond of. That's my personal preference. There is development and all those kind of things. Airbnb, we now want to go into different aspects of different strategies. Have you found your niche yet, or is it too early for you?
I think I know exactly what we're aiming to do.
Okay.
We are basically aiming to do back-to-back deals. Right. So we want to do back-to-back deals so we can get the cash, but not so we can just keep doing the back-to-back deals or any flips. Our intention is to get passive income, monthly cash flow that comes in on a monthly basis. And what we want to do is purchase properties, fix them up, and rent them out as a multi-let to people who want to rent homes or rent houses, you know. So we just want to provide quality residential accommodation for people with rental income coming in on a monthly basis. Yeah, so that's our strategy right now.
Okay. You want to be like me? That's okay. Right.
When I grow up, I want to be just like Tawarai.
It's totally achievable, you know. I like your strategy of back to back. You know, I want to zoom into that. I have done in my gap of 3 to 4 years now. I've done 1 back to back, a successful one.
Okay.
We banked in just below 100,000 on it. But what's a back to back? Just so that you know our audience can understand exactly what is a back to back. How do you make money out of it and things like that? Give us an example of the 1 back-to-back that has closed. So start from there. Yeah.
Sure. So a back-to-back deal, in summary, is basically when you get a seller for a house, a distressed seller, maybe for many different reasons, you know. So whatever the reason may be, someone wants to sell their home, whether they're struggling financially, whether they're going through a divorce, no matter what the reason may be that they want to sell, you come in and you become someone who solves the problem for them, right? They have a problem and you are the problem solver. So what you do is you purchase the property from them, signing an OTP, and you take that same OTP that you have and you flip it, if I could say. What you do is you don't actually need the money. You don't actually go to the bank, apply for a bond or anything like that. You just sign the OTP with the intention of selling that same house for a profit to your buyers. So you would preferably have a buyer's list and advertise the property, get someone to purchase the property, and then you make a profit from there. So if I could just make an example, quick example, we had a house that we got a house, someone who wanted to sell their house because they wanted to relocate. It was in the East Rand.
Okay, good.
Yes. So someone had a house, they wanted to relocate really quickly. So they wanted to sell their house as quickly as possible.
Right.
So we signed an OTP with them for 200,000 rands. And then so we signed an OTP with them for 200,000 rands, and then immediately flipped the deal to someone else, someone who had been looking for a house in a similar area, and that house met all the specs that person wanted, right? So we got the person through our people that we had been advertising to communicate with us about houses that they want to buy, people want to sell houses, and we basically got that person, and the person bought the house from us for 300,000 rands, and we made that 100,000 rand profits. We sold the house within 2 weeks, or 2.5 weeks. Sold the house within 2.5 weeks, and everyone was happy.
Let's go back. Give us the description of this house that you're buying for 200,000, because some people are like, yeah, you can't find houses for 200,000. My first house that I bought was for 160,000, and I still kick myself in the foot because at the time my credit card limit was just below 400,000 when I was doing the other business, and by the time I got to this project of 160, I was now in debt and I couldn't finance that. So there is properties for 100,000, 160, 200,000, and we are 2020 in April. You got a property for 200,000. Okay. Yes. What's the description of this house?
So the house, it's a 2-bedroom house.
Okay.
It's a 2-bedroom house and it has 3 outside rooms actually.
Really?
So yeah, it's a 2-bedroom house with 3 outside rooms. Wow. And not much of a big yard, but there is a yard enough to like hang your clothes, play around with the kids, or whatever you would want to do with it. And then it's also covered. It's got a gate, kitchen, a bathroom, and a lounge area.
My man, high five to you. Okay.
Right.
So let's go back around again. So you found this property, and I just want to zoom in into the back-to-back scenario here, because this show, it's about inspiring, educating people to show that it can be done, right? So I want to unpack it, if you allow me to deconstruct your whole strategy here of a back-to-back. So you went in, you put in an offer, and out of putting in an offer, you didn't physically buy the house. You didn't put in any money here.
No.
Okay. Now that you've put this house on contract, right? And you take the same house, you do not do any renovations, nothing. There's nothing that you did on this house.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, good. And you went on to sell it to the next person. So you are buyer number 1. And then there was buyer number 2 that you went on to sell to.
Yes.
Right? But obviously you need to pay some transfer fees here. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you've got your lawyer involved here, and you are going to pay some form of transfer fees, right? So out of your, we said you're buying at 200, and we're just going to do rough numbers here, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And now you're selling it for 300. Potentially, you paid maybe around about just below 10,000 Rand for your transfer fees for it to register in your name. It does register in your name, correct, right?
Simultaneous transfer.
So it registers in your name for like 2 minutes, and then it goes to the next person.
Yes.
Right. Now, with that now, right? So you have taken the property in, you've put in an offer, and anyone can put in an offer, right?
Yeah.
If it's the right property, obviously, right? And now you go and sell it to someone else, and you make money, and you make this money literally. You did this project in about what? You said 2 to 3 weeks. So you got your money, let's say, in around about 2 months.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Well done. High five. I like that.
Exactly what happened. Thanks.
Okay. Now
it really emphasizes the fact that to enter the property market, you don't need money, I think. And this strategy proves that over and over and over again, because even those transfer fees that you do have to pay, it can be taken out of the selling price in which you're using. So I definitely needed zero money. I just needed money to, I guess the only money I really needed was to go show the house to the buyer, which is a taxi away and a drive away if you're driving, and it really is that basic.
Nice. Right. When the money hit the bank account, did you do a second celebration?
I think by that time we had already been expecting it, and the excitement was more on making more deals than focusing on the money that we just received. So we didn't want to dwell too much because we realized it's only the beginning.
Ntombela, this is awesome, buddy. You have made money with no money. I keep on telling people that you can do this.
It is
and
doable.
I am glad that there is someone out there who is doing it, and that is why you are in this set, and that's why we're calling you one of M5 successful friends, because you're killing it right there. If there is someone out there sitting in Debs, Richards Bay, and Matuba Tuba, I'm just dropping places that I like, you know, Matuba Squared. Anyway in South Africa, because you know, some people when I tell people that it can be done here in South Africa, it's like, no, this can be done overseas. You know, it's not for South Africa. And there you are doing it, and me and you, we are like-minded people because we are doing it. We're putting in no money at all, and we're getting money on the table. Whatever you're doing whatever that you're doing with your family, great. With your money, great. For me, I am fending for my family. That's what I'm doing. That's what my property business does. So I just want to jump into how can you, or what advice can you give to someone out there potentially watching this and like, hey, I also want to do this?
I would say the first step, I guess, is to educate yourself.
Okay.
Educate yourself about business, educate yourself about property.
Right.
It's very important. I think that's, out of anything, the most important thing, because if you look at, for example, if you look at people who have received inheritance, people who've won the lotto, there's this show called I Blew It. Like, if you see people who have money, but they don't have the knowledge and education, what happens is they lose that money really, really quickly.
Sure.
Give them, they win 5 million rand or whatever it is, they, in 2 years, 3 years, the money's gone. It's finished.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. But if you educate yourself, no matter how much money you lose, you'll always have the know-how, the knowledge on how to make it back again. And that is invaluable. Truly believe that educating yourself, educating yourself is the first.
Yeah.
Say get yourself a coach, you know, as well. Get yourself a coach, get yourself someone who can guide you, someone who can assist you in getting deals where you might get stuck. You might maybe need some negotiating tips. Whatever you might need, you always will need a shoulder to lean on, someone to assist you. Property is a people's game, you know, and truly is a people's game, and the more people you work with, the more successful you'll be. So I think get yourself a coach who's more experienced than you, and that person can introduce you to endless opportunities.
Awesome.
And then, I think believe in yourself as well. Truly believe that it is possible, persevere, and be persistent in your dealings. It might take a while to get your first deal, but after that, smooth sailing.
What do you do to ensure that the belief system in you, because and I'm only talking about this today on the show here because I see that a lot of young people, the self-belief is not there. Actually, it's not about young people. I see it across board. But you're a young guy and you already believe in yourself that this can be done, right? I mean, there's days that I used to dream to say that, you know, can I buy a building? And now I can do it. I touch it. I feel it. I walk by my building and I see it, you know, I'm still the same guy. You know what I mean? And that building could have 30, 40 units in it. And I get the pleasure that I'm providing accommodation to people, right? And I'm working with some of my investors and things like that. I get the excitement that I am putting money on their hands. They're not doing anything. But this self-belief that you're talking about, for me, that's what changed my game. Right? The skill I had, because I was working at the bank.
Yeah.
I was working at the bank. I was a senior guy at the bank. I was traveling around Africa, and I had the skill. But I just didn't believe that I could do it for myself. As a young guy, what do you do practically to make sure that you believe in yourself? Because people say believe in yourself. Yeah, so, but how? You know, what is the steps of me believing in myself? What do you do?
So I think it's very important to self-isolate. Excuse the pun. It's important to self-isolate. It's
Yeah,
important, truly is. So I think it's important to make sure that you self-isolate, you reflect on your life. What
yeah,
I do is I reflect on where I come from
right.
and think about that. Truly, does it make me happy to see the people that I grew up and the people living in the area in which I grew up living the way they do? You
Yeah,
know, find something emotional, find something personal that is important to you, and think if that thing makes you happy. If you are satisfied and happy about how you grew up and where you come from, then your motivation might be something different, you know. So, but for
sure.
me personally, I look at where am I from, where are my parents, and all the sacrifices that they made for me so that I could be a success in life one day, and looking at all those sacrifices that they made so that I can be educated, so that I can know what they don't know, you know, because they didn't know what they don't know. And
Sure.
I have now the opportunity, I have the opportunity to grow, and I have the opportunity, I have the means. You know, we have technology nowadays, and there's no excuse for me not to educate myself, not to read books. There's absolutely no excuse that I can have to not want to do better. You know,
Yeah,
so I self-isolate, and I really reflect on my life and my goals. And if I am feeling down and um, I feel like something is just not right, you know, something maybe is bothering me, maybe I'm feeling like I'm really struggling to get a deal, it's always reassuring to communicate with a partner. It's always communicate with family, friends. Those people are usually very supportive. And yeah, that's how I do it, man. It really does motivate me to do better.
cool. Um, with that in mind, I just want to drop in. So yesterday I was on a call. I don't know if you know a guy called John Keo, um, and um, and Robin Banks. So
Okay.
do you know Robin Banks?
No, I'm not familiar with the first name, but Robin Banks, yeah, sounds familiar.
Okay. So Robin Banks, he teaches, or should I say, yeah, he teaches, and at the back of that, the teacher is the guy called John Keo. He's written a lot of
Okay.
books and around thinking and so on. And I prescribe a lot to John Keo's thinking and the way he harnesses the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just last night we were on a call together with Robin Banks and John Keo, and they were talking about how you can manage your mind, right? And something that I want to steal from there is that, and this happens to me at many a times, is that the mind is a storyteller,
Mm-hmm.
right? The mind on its own, right? You are there.
Okay.
The mind is a storyteller. So what happens is that the mind is telling you something that is not real. So you can make it.
Mm-hmm.
You from debts.
Okay.
You Joburg is not for you. You know,
Mm.
is the mind telling you that? But is that what's the reality? No,
No.
anyone can do it, right? You have gone out, you got a coach, you got the education, and now you're making some money. But a lot of people on that self-confidence that we're talking about, the practical part of it for me is that you actually need to observe who you are.
Mm.
Because if you don't know who you are in the mind, then obviously you can't change that, right? So if you got these conversations where you're telling yourself that it can't be done, then you need to observe that and stop it and start telling yourself that you can. I think for
Mm.
me, that's my practical one there that I can throw out to the people to say that observe who you are, observe the story that you're telling yourself. If you
Mm.
know that it is in the negative, then stop it. When you stop it, start telling yourself the right story that you want to see. And I'm good that you know, you kind of like go into a quarantine. Yes, excuse the pun as well. And you tell yourself these things. So that's awesome. Ntombela, it's been great speaking to you. Wish you all the best of luck. I know that there's plenty more deals that are coming through because of what's happening.
Definitely.
So I am sure that you are prepared because there'll be more
ready.
deals. Yeah?
I'm ready.
Ntombela, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, we are going to put in all of your details so that they can reach out to you. And from there, it could be from a learning perspective or whatever the case could be. We'll put down all of your details on the show notes. But it's been great. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to an end, and it is I, TJ, coming out to you live on this podcast, my M5 Successful Friends. We've been hosting Ntombela. I've had a good chat. I told you it's going to be great because obviously you have heard the story. He is killing it, so you can too. Ntombela, enjoy the show, and good luck and goodbye.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Yes. God bless. Bye.